Hello, boys and girls. So today I have a new book to read. But first, let's go over the book, the parts of the book. So this is a spine. Remember, it holds the pages together. And this is the title. This is a cover of the book. Do you remember who writes the words? That's right, it's the author. Do you know the name of the person that draws the pictures and colors them? It's the illustrator. So the name of this book is Papi, How Many Stars Are in the Sky? Whenever they visited their grandparents' farm, Ariana, Carlos, and Maria gathered after dinner to listen to their grandfather's stories. One warm night, they sat out at the porch with grandfather rocking peacefully in his old wooden rocking chair. He always waited until dusk to begin. Like children everywhere, the children had a favorite story. And like grandparents everywhere, the grandparents never tired of telling it. That night was a perfect night for that story. As they looked up in the evening sky, just beginning to fill with its bright, shiny stars, the children began to chant, Papi, ¿cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? Papi, how many stars are in the sky? Chant is another word of like a song. I know that's a big word. Papi gazed lovingly at each of their grandchildren and asked them, ¿Cuánto piensas tú? How many do you think? Carlo raised his arms to the starry darkness, saying, there must be zillion. Zillion means a lot. Like it's hard to count. It's too many stars. The grandfather laughed heartily. Well, mijo, that is pretty close. Maybe we'd better count them. But first, I have to tell you a story about the stars and why they are in the sky. And knowing the story was about to begin, the children pulled themselves even closer to their grandfather. Ariana nestled comfortable on his lap, I guess this is Ariana, while the other ones leaned against his legs. Just as he had countless times before, Papi gazed up toward the stars and pointed his finger. You see, mijos, every time a child is born, a new star is added to the sky, and that star shines forever for the child. That is why there are so many bright, shiny stars. Every child is a gift from the universe, and each star tells a story of the child's life. As they listened, the children dreamily searched the starry sky, imagining all the children in the world, and secretly they tried to find the star that they think was theirs. The bright stars telling the stories of their lives. Their grandfather, soothed voice continued, if you look around, you can imagine that the stars make pictures. We can tell stories about the pictures. Since tonight is fall night, we see the fall animals. See over there is a bear that once chased your father in the forest. So bear. Can you see the loaded towards the back of the bear? It tells you the story of the delicious stew your mother makes for you. Over there is a lizard like the one I once caught at the water ponds. And though the middle of it all runs the bright, starry path of the Milky Way, leading you back home if you ever get lost. So Papi says, if you ever get lost, you have to find the path of the Milky Way. And if you follow it, you'll go back home. Knowing that their favorite part of the story was narrating, the children repeated their chorus. Papi, ¿cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? Papi, how many stars are in the sky? Patiently, the grandfather began. Well, let's count them, Ariana. Cuéntalas. You count. Ariana looked at the sky with steady eyes and proudly proclaimed, Ayuna, una, look, a big one. As the other children smiled, the grandfather lovingly answered, Yes, Ariana, you are so right. There is one big star in the sky. Does anyone else want to count the stars in the sky? Papi asked. Carlos answered, I'm learning to count in school. Let me count. Una estrella, dos estrellas, tres estrellas, cuatro estrellas, cinco estrellas, seis estrellas, siete estrellas, ocho estrellas, nueve estrellas, 10 estrellas. That means 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, 8 stars, 9 stars, and 10 stars. With a deep laugh, grandfather said, Yes, Carlo, there are 10 stars in the sky. But if we keep counting like that, we will never go to bed. Maria, do you want to count? Maria counted carefully. I see una, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Shall I keep counting, Papi? Chuckling softly, the grandfather said, Well, what do you think, children? Should Maria keep counting? Do you think she should keep counting? Do you think we're going to have enough time to count all the stars in the sky? What do you think? How many stars do you think are in the sky? Let's see. But the children knew that their grandfather had finally reached their favorite part together. They shouted, Papi, cuenta tú. ¿Cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? Dinos, ¿cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? Papi, you count. You tell us how many stars are in the sky. With a calm voice, the grandfather said, Mijos, look at the stars in the night sky. All my life I have been counting the stars in the sky, and now I finally know that there are 50 estrellas in the sky. The children howled with delight. 50? How más? Hay más de 50. 50. There are more than 50. So grandfather said there was 50 stars. Do you think there's more than 50 stars in the sky? And just as he had countless times before, the grandfather shook his head saying, No, not the number 50, which does mean 50, but the word 50, which means infinity. That means there are so many stars you cannot count them all. Your lives are like that too. There are so many things you can do or be. You can count them all, or just like you can count all the stars. There are no limits. As he puts his grandchildren to bed, the grandfather sang a lullaby to them. He sang it in Spanish, just as he had heard it sung when he was a child. Duérmete, mi niño, duérmete solito, que cuando despiertas te daré atolito. Duérmate, mi niña, duérmate, mi sol, duérmate pesado de mi corazón. Later, snuggling tight into their beds, the children thought of their grandfather's story and all the beautiful stars in the sky. As they fell asleep, they dreamed of many adventures. Their lives could behold Aventura 50. So thank you, boys and girls, for reading the story with me. And just think about it. How many stars do you think are in the sky?